love it because honestly, wellness gave me a better quality of life outside of it being attached to hair health. I don't know, my life was really kind of crazy before I even found out about wellness, what it is, what it's a balance of, and how to stay balanced. So, as much as I am a hairstylist, of course, I'm a certified wellness coach. And this part is really important because it will definitely change some things for the positive in your life, in your world. We go through a lot as just people living and being human. We go through lots of adversity. We go through challenges. And so as we go to those things or those things happen to us in life, it's just good to be well and in balance of the good things that we fill ourselves with so that when we're bounced around, we cannot lose it. We can still have emotional intelligence. We can survive it. So that's what today's lesson is all about. The beauty wellness balance and how they correlate together. So like last week, I'm going to go through the lesson and then I'm going to have questions or take your questions, but you can drop them whenever you think of them because I don't want you to forget them. And then I'm going to come back and then we're going to do Q&A at the end, okay? So if you haven't downloaded the workbook, that's fine. We can see it here together, but definitely download it at some point because it's a lot of good information. And I'm not going to read every single line because it's a lot and it'll take you some time to go through it, but it's really good information, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. So what is wellness? I know wellness is used a whole lot as far as the word is thrown around so much to where they attach to health, they attach to mental. And so it's like, what is wellness? And wellness is the overall health and well-being encompassing physical, mental, social aspects. Actually, there are 8 aspects of wellness, but we're not going to go through all of them right now because all of them are not affecting the hair. And that's what we're talking about. But you have your social, you have your physical, you have mental, you have intellectual, you have environmental, you have physical wellness, you have spiritual. So it's a lot of different components, but we're going to deal with some specific ones today. But so in this lesson, I will teach you how wellness impacts hair health. Stress and overall health can influence the condition of your hair. And so that's really the important part that I want you to know as to why we're even talking about this, because the better you are with your wellness and the balance of these different things, the better you handle stress in life, which comes from the challenges and adversities that you may experience. So let's first talk about how stress affects hair health. It can affect it in a lot of ways. So first, if you are stressed, it can cause hair loss. A lot of people don't realize it, but that's one of the questions I ask behind the chair if I have a client that has just hair just falling out. I'm like, let's check your thyroid, let's get some blood work done, check your vitamin D levels, and are you stressed? And so a lot of people are like, oh, no, I'm not stressed, and they really could be stressed. So hair loss, the growth cycle, we talked about that before. Telogen effluvium is when the hair is just falling out. It's in the resting phase of the growing hair growth cycle. So when you are stressed, it's in that stage and it won't leave it until you are not stressed. So it's a big deal to not be stressed. Another way it affects your healthy hair is its reduced nutrient absorption. So when you have chronic stress, like always stressed every single day, it affects your digestive system. So that affects the absorption of the nutrients that you eat every day. So remember we talked about, I think last week, we talked about the vitamins and minerals and how they absorb into your body and how it has a lot to do with your hair health. It's going to definitely affect the absorption, which means it's going to affect the health of your hair. So your hair can be dry, it could be brittle, it could be dull, and it'll basically just be weak because it's not getting the protein and the nutrients that it needs when you're in a stressed state. You can experience scalp issues. which dandruff, eczema, those things are stress triggered, like even eczema on your skin, psoriasis, things like that. An unhealthy scalp leads to unhealthy hair because the scalp and its health is the foundation of having healthy hair. Hormonal imbalances, we talked about that as well. So prolonged stress can disrupt hormonal balance in the body. So it's really good that you stay away from the stress because you don't want your hormones out of whack, which is why I say, well, how's your thyroid? Get your thyroid tested because that's something that shows up to let you know that your hormones are out of balance. Premature graying. I know people joke about that all the time as, oh, my children gave me my gray hair. But yes, stress is often associated with premature and gray hair. Genetics plays a role, of course, because we talked about hair color and stuff like that in a previous lesson, but definitely stress plays a role. Hair breakage. So when you're stressed, you tend to do different things. And this will cover the last point as well. You can either pull on your hair, you can rub it, you can twist it. They're just physical behaviors that you do that you may not even think twice about when you are in a stressed state. I know, for instance, I was asking my daughter, and this has nothing to do with hair, but just the behavior. I asked her because she bites her nails and her hangnails, and I'm like, are you worried about something? Are you anxious? Because some of us do things not knowing what they are just because we are stressed. Reduced blood circulation. So when you are stressed, there's a narrowing of your blood vessels in your body, which reduces the blood circulation to your scalp. Blood circulation to your scalp and your follicle is what promotes hair growth, is what delivers the nutrients to your hair follicles. So when you're in a stressed state and your blood vessels are narrowed, that will affect the health of your hair. So it's very important to not be stressed, which is why we're getting into the wellness piece. So the first part of wellness that I want to talk about is spiritual wellness. What is spiritual wellness? Spiritual wellness is one of the dimensions of wellness that refers to the sense of purpose, meaning, and connection to something that is greater. I know for me, spiritual wellness is my top. It's my thing that I prioritize when it comes to my well-being because I have to know that there is something bigger than me. For me, it's God that is handling this life of mine. Whatever it is that I face, having the trust and security that everything will work out for my better being or for my good. So that's what spiritual wellness does for me. But for a lot of people and for you, it can mean something completely different, and that's okay. So it involves exploring your own personal beliefs, values, and sense of purpose, and just finding ways to connect with them. This could be through religious practices, meditation, nature, walking in nature. Anything that helps you find inner peace and harmony is considered spiritual wellness. So like I said, I'm not going to go through all of this because it's a lot of information, but I do want you to know some of the advantages of nurturing your spiritual wellness because it's really, really, really important that you do this to do what? Eliminate stress and to just have a better quality of life, to have more joy and more fulfillment in your life. So inner peace. Who doesn't want peace? Because peace is everything. I know when I get up in the morning and I pray, I'm always asking, God, just give me peace. Take away my worry, take away my anxiety. So it's very important. Increase resilience. It helps you be stronger in the foundation of your life and how you deal with life's challenges and adversities and difficulties. It improves your mental health, which is really important. Your mental health, which we'll talk about that later, it helps you promote a positive outlook. Your mental contains your thoughts. Your thoughts dictates your life and how you handle things that come your way. So it enhances self-awareness, a sense of purpose. It helps you to have stronger relationships. It reduces your stress. It helps you to make better decisions. When you have a strong spiritual foundation, you can guide you into making ethical and value-based decisions. Better physical health and benefits. It's a higher quality of life. Overall, spiritual wellness can contribute to a higher quality of life, leading to greater life satisfaction, fulfillment, and well-being. The coping mechanism during challenging times, it helps you to cope with those times because they're inevitable. We all experience them. And then it gives you a sense of belonging. Then here are some common practices that you can do to stay spiritually well. Meditation and mindfulness. I actually have an app that I use that I meditate with, and it's just 5 or 10 minutes of just a lady talking, and I sit and I lay in silence, and it's just really, really allows me to connect with my inner thoughts and just really gives me peace and relaxation. Prayer or reflection, engaging in some type of self-reflection depending on your religious or spiritual beliefs. This can provide a sense of connection and of purpose. Nature connection. I absolutely love nature because for me, it's God's glory. It reminds me that everything is going to be okay. God created all of this. It's beautiful. When I see the birds or hear the birds, I'm like, God provides for the birds every day. They never have to worry. I know that if I'm in a state where I need God to provide something for me, it's a reminder that he's going to provide it for me. So I just love being outside and in nature, even though I don't like bugs too much, but I mean, you can't have it all. Yoga is something that connects you spiritually. The stretching of your body, the deep breathing, and just the total connection of yourself and your higher being. Journaling is something that I love to do. I think it's a great thing to do when it comes to your spiritual wellness because when you write and you just get it out and get your thoughts out onto paper, it's just allowing you to release so that you can connect with your inner being as well as your higher power. And then community involvement, volunteer work. I love to volunteer. So if you're working in the community, pouring back into the community or at church or wherever it is, it gives you a sense of purpose and compassion, which is definitely helping you to be spiritually well. Reading and studying whatever literature that resonates with you when it comes to your spiritual and philosophical beliefs, art and creativity, gratitude practices. I feel so close to God when I'm thankful of the things that I have versus not thinking of the things that I don't have. So regularly expressing that gratitude, it helps you to have a sense of contentment and of purpose. Just being thankful, it puts you in a better mood when you're thinking of things that you need or you don't have. And then seeking guidance. If you feel spiritually lost or facing questions, just make sure that you understand that you can seek counsel from a mentor, a spiritual leader. Just doing those things are things that will help you stay spiritually well. Okay, the second part of wellness that I want to talk about, which is so very important, is what is mental wellness? Mental wellness is often referred to as mental well-being or mental health. It relates to the emotional and psychological state of an individual. It encompasses a person's overall mental and emotional health, and it is an essential aspect of overall well-being. Mental wellness is so very, very important, and I know, oh man, I would say over the past, I would say 20 years, or I would say 10 years, honestly, 10 or 15 years, it's mentioned more and more and more because there's just a lot going on that causes people to not be well mentally. And the mind is such a powerful thing. And so it's important to be mentally well, to just be able to navigate life in a positive space as best as you can. Just having the best quality of life to stay joyful, optimistic, hopeful. Thoughts become things. So your mental is very, very important. So mental wellness involves several components. You have your emotional resilience, the ability to cope with stress and adversity and challenges, positive emotions, experiencing those things such as happiness, contentment, joy, gratitude, which helps you to be overall well, self-awareness of your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, being in touch with your own emotional state, effective stress management, which is being able to cope with dealing with stress and pressure is very important because it's just going to happen. It's life. And then it deals with healthy relationships. If you are not mentally well, it's impossible to have healthy relationships that are supportive and fulfilling with family and friends and peers. Self-esteem, mental wellness, what you think of yourself, having a positive self-image, self-worth, they're crucial for having a mental well-being because it's all about what you think. I'm always focusing on my thoughts because I come from a background where thoughts and things that were said around me weren't extremely positive. And so I had to really, really focus and break some habits and some generational things that were going on with just the outlook and perspective of life. Because truly, how good your life is how good your thoughts and what you do with the things that happen to you. Because your perspective is everything. Your perspective is your reality. And we want to keep things positive and optimistic so that you can have the life in which you have more joy and happiness and fulfillment. So, respect for others. Mental wellness has a lot to do with that. The balanced life, mental health awareness, being aware of your health issues and seeking help if you need them. Reducing the stigma associated with mental health challenges because people think, oh, they must be crazy. No, if you feel like you're not mentally well or your thoughts are not where they should be, it is definitely okay to seek counsel for that. And then having a positive outlook, like I mentioned, maintaining an optimistic and hopeful perspective of life. You can do that through any challenge. It's great. Like earlier today, one of my friends actually gave me a compliment. She said, girl, you have great perspective because I drove all the way to the orthodontist today to pick up my remaining retainers. And that's 30 minutes away. But what I didn't know was the insurance company had not paid their portion. And my husband made the appointment. He was supposed to tell me whether or not we were going to pay out of pocket, just this whole situation. So I ended up not getting the retainers because the insurance company still didn't pay. And I just said, you know what? Oh, well, I'll go home. It's a beautiful day. Let me open my sunroof, cut on some music. It's pretty. Everything happens for a reason. I guess God just wanted to get me out of the house. Perspective. Because I could have been really angry and really mad and say, this was a waste of time. I wasted my gas. But why? Everything happens for a reason. And you know that whatever happens is for your good. That's my perspective. So that's the importance of a positive outlook. Being mentally well, some of the advantages of being mentally well is you are emotionally resilient. You're able to deal with life's challenges and bounce back from adversity in your life. You have a positive mood. You have improved relationships. When you are mentally well and you are positive and you show up to the relationship, it's much better and more fulfilling. Enhanced productivity. When you are thinking clearly and you are positive in your thoughts, your productivity, it can boost out of the roof. You're creative, you're clear, and you're able to do your daily tasks when you are well mentally. You're better in your physical health, believe it or not, because your mental health is closely linked to your physical being. Because of the stress and the positive outlook, it leads to lower blood pressures and improved immune function. So all of these wellness components that I'm talking about, they're interconnected. They are overlapping at some point. That's why it's important to encompass all of them. And then another positive thing, when you are mentally well, you can sleep at night. You are at peace with everything that you have going on. You're not worrying. Your mind is clear. And so you're able to sleep and allow your body to rest and restore. Also, you have effective stress management. You handle stress well. Increased self-esteem, positive life choices, resilience in adversity, enhanced coping skills. It's kind of redundant to what we talked about in Stress Definitely Weak. Yes, it does. It's kind of redundant in what we talked about the spiritual because they are all interconnected. Your quality of life is better because you're fostering the life satisfaction and well-being, positive social impact, and then longevity. You live longer and you have a better quality of life when your mental wellness tends to be healthy. Your emotional intelligence, if it's improved mental health, it can enhance your emotional intelligence, helping you understand and manage your own emotions and those of others more effectively. So you're not jumping off the handle when things happen. You're not reacting, you're thinking, you're breathing before you react, and thinking through things before you do anything is very important. So here's some things you can do to stay mentally well. Regular exercise. It feels amazing to move your body, and we'll talk a whole lot more about that later in physical wellness. But just moving your body, the endorphins that comes from getting outside, whether it's at the gym or it's in your house. And I don't care if it's dancing. It really does something for your mood. It boosts your self-esteem. It reduces stress. Mindful meditation, we talked about that with spiritual wellness. Having a healthy diet. What you eat impacts your overall mental wellness. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but it's all connected. So when you're eating healthy foods, your cognitive function and your mood, it's improved positively, it's impacted. So it's good that you eat a well-balanced diet. You get great sleep. Well, sleep is good for mental wellness. And make sure that your body rests and repairs. You manage stress much better. Your social connections are better. Your hobbies and interests, you're doing things that bring you joy and fulfillment. You seek professional help. Those are some things that you can do to be mentally well. Set realistic goals that you take small chunks at a time. That will help you to be mentally well. When you take things that are too big, it's overwhelming, and your brain, your thoughts probably explode just from overthinking and trying to figure things out. It stresses your thoughts. It stresses your brain. So take small chunks at a time to reach realistic goals. Limit your screen time. That's really important because social media can be connected to stress and negative feelings. So reduce your digital consumption. Practice gratitude and practice self-compassion. Give yourself some grace and mercy. Some people are still reluctant to see. Yes, they are, Libby. Give yourself some grace and mercy. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when you make mistakes. Don't be so hard on yourself. I don't know. I used to struggle with that and try to be this perfect person, trying to get everything right. But I'm not perfect. We all are human. We're all going to make mistakes. But even if they are, I don't call them mistakes. It's just lessons, because every little thing that we go through is a piece of a big puzzle that's already been created by God, and it's going to be used for something. So it's not wasted. It's not a mistake. It's an opportunity to grow, and it's an opportunity to just be better for the next time it comes. So treat yourself well with kindness. Don't beat yourself up, because nobody's human. And then you need to stay informed about mental health and be aware of common mental health issues. Healthy boundaries is another thing you can do to stay healthy in your mind. Say no. Say no, say no, say no. I know some people, it's hard for them to say no. I used to be that person too. But I have a schedule. I have boundaries. I actually have boundaries on when I actually talk to people during the day. I don't take phone calls early in the morning, because that's the time where I'm filling myself with everything I need to be who I need to be for my day. So I don't talk to people during a certain time. It's just, I have boundaries. When you have boundaries, people will respect your boundaries. But it's really important, because when they pounce on your time, when you're not in a good space, when you're not filled, it's just not good. So you have to create those healthy boundaries to prioritize your self-care. Mindful breathing. Mindful breathing is so powerful. I have to learn, or have to breathe. It's really good exercise for me, having one lung, to breathe deeply and slowly. But can I tell you, it's so peaceful and relaxing to do that. It has so many great benefits. It oxygenates all of your organs, and it just really brings you to a state of peace. I like to do it either first thing in the morning or before I go to bed, or just whenever I feel like I need to release, or I'm feeling in my shoulders creeping up that I'm stressing about something. Take some moments to breathe deeply, and that will help you reduce stress and calm your mind. Brain dump. If ever I am overthinking and just have so many things on my mind, as women, I know you know, because you're a woman like me, we have so many thoughts and things going on at the same time in our minds. It's sort of like a computer that has multiple windows that are open and they're all pulling energy all at one time. And so I can feel when my brain is like fried, I feel like. And so I just know it's time to brain dump. Brain dump is just getting a piece of paper or a notebook, a pen, and just writing what comes to mind. Whatever the thought is, it doesn't have to make any complete sense. It doesn't have to be a complete sentence. I call it Tourette's on paper. Yes, you do the mindful breathing before the yes, 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 yes. I love it. So make sure that you brain dump when you feel overwhelmed in your thoughts. Like you're not productive. You don't know what to do next. It's just so much. Get it out on paper. Get it out, get it out, get it out. It will give you clarity and it release the overwhelm of overthinking. Okay? So that's mental wellness. So let's talk about social wellness. What is social wellness? Social wellness is one of the dimensions of overall wellness and focuses on the quality and health of an individual's social relationships and interactions. It encompasses various aspects of social well-being and involves building and maintaining positive connections with others. Y'all, social wellness, as I always see where I am on the wellness scale with these things that I'm talking about with you all, social wellness for me is my low. I'm always low, needing more social wellness. And honestly, growing up, going to play with your friends or doing something fun was like a reward that I would do for myself, but it's not a reward. It's essential. It's necessary. It has to be a part of our lives to be socially well. You talk to your dog to get your thoughts. I know that's right. Social wellness is so very important because God created us to be around people, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, because I'm totally an introvert. But I do like to be social, but it is for a limited amount of time. That's why it's low on my list. But I'm trying to do better. We're going to do better together if this is something that you struggle with. But here are some key elements of social wellness. Strong relationships, developing and nurturing strong, healthy, and supportive relationships, whether it be with your family, your peers, your colleagues, or your friends. Effective communication, the ability to communicate openly, honestly, and empathetically with others, leading to better understanding and cooperation. Social support, having a network of people who offer emotional and practical and sometimes financial support during times of need. That's a part of social wellness. Empathy and compassion, being able to understand and put yourself in somebody else's shoes with their feelings and their perspectives and showing kindness and compassion to them as if you were them. Conflict resolution, which is so very important. Having the skills to resolve conflict and disagreements in a constructive and non-harmful way. Can I just say, conflict resolution has a lot of people not talking to each other, and if they would just sit and talk about it, I'm sure there's just some miscommunication along the way or misunderstanding. Conflict resolution or the lack of knowing how to resolve conflict has destroyed a lot of relationships and families and with friends. So if you don't know how to resolve conflict, that's something that you should definitely look into because that's inevitable as well. God made us all to be different people. We think differently, we act differently. And so at some point, we're going to disagree. And so the conflict shouldn't just ruin relationships and make you not be socially well because you can't communicate. Yes, I agree, Libby. I agree. And then respect for diversity, respecting other people's cultures and backgrounds and making, people being unique. That's another key element of social wellness. Positive social interactions, being able to have an enjoyable and fulfilling social activity experience that contributes to happiness and well-being. I know I love playing games. When I do get social, I love to play games with people. It's just everything that I love. And then it gives you a sense of belonging, feeling connected to a community, a workplace, or a social group, which makes you feel really good. And then boundaries, of course, we talked about setting boundaries to have healthy relationships, social engagement. That's right, Victoria. Sometimes all you need to do is listen. I agree. Social engagement activities, actively participating in social and community activities, volunteering, contributing to the betterment of society. Those things really just help you feel fulfilled. If you don't know this, and I'm pretty sure y'all do because I have a pretty good idea of you all's character, when you are being in a social environment and just giving and being of service and volunteering and giving to the community, it's such a sense of fulfillment that money cannot buy. And so being around other people that are positive and optimistic and everybody's on the same page of the community activity all together and you're working together, it's just a fulfillment that I can't understand. I volunteer at church. And so I love to serve and greet, and it just fills my heart. And I look forward to it because, as I said earlier, respect for diversity, I get to encounter people of all different cultures, backgrounds, and it's just, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm always so intrigued by people who are different from me, don't look like me or anything, because I get to learn from them. So I know that was sidebar. Mentorship and guidance. Receiving mentorship and guidance from others is a part of an element of social wellness. And then supportive environments, creating and fostering environments that are inclusive, safe, and supportive of social well-being are all of the key elements of social wellness. So here's some advantages of social wellness: emotional support to help you navigate through times of stress, grief, difficult life situations. It's important that you have a friend or someone that you could talk to. Like Victoria said, some people just need to be listened to, or maybe you need to talk, someone needs to listen, vice versa. That is being socially well. We all need some type of relationships to be able to have support. Reduce stress is another advantage. Improve mental health, enhance self-esteem because you get validation from social relationships, which can boost your self-esteem and self-confidence. Increased happiness from social interactions and connections. They can lead to moments of joy and happiness and contentment. I know when my family and all the kids come home, I'm so happy because we're all just talking and connecting and acting silly and laughing. That's what social wellness brings about. Physical health benefits, because when you are happy and you're positive, strong social networks, you lower your blood pressure and reduce the risk of certain chronic diseases. You have a sense of belonging to something, which is very important for personal identity and self-worth. You have improved communication skills because you're engaging with diverse groups of people, and it improves your communication, your empathy, and interpersonal skills. You have reduced feelings of loneliness because you are not alone. Social wellness reduces the risk of social isolation, which is not good to be isolated, and those feelings of loneliness, which are associated with negative health effects. Longevity, of course, strong social networks. You tend to live longer and have a healthier life when you are connected to people around you. Networking and opportunities are some advantages of social wellness. Positive coping mechanisms, having a support system that encourages you to have positive coping mechanisms during challenging times. And then your emotional intelligence. The social wellness can improve emotional intelligence, allowing you to better understand and manage your own emotions and those that are around you. Quality relationships. That's another advantage. Building and maintaining quality relationships. Personal growth. Really, really good. Social wellness, yes. Engaging with diverse social groups and individuals can lead to personal growth and broadened perspectives, which is so huge. Open perspectives, open mindset versus closed mindset, being open to people that are nothing like you and listening to their perspectives, and then just thinking, from their perspective, how they got there. It's just a really intriguing situation. Community involvement is another advantage. Social wellness often involves community involvement or engagement, contributing to the betterment of society. So here's some things you can do to stay socially well. Cultivate relationships. Build and nurture relationships with family, friends, people that you work with. Spend time with loved ones and prioritize quality interactions. quality interactions, face to face, talk on the phone. I don't like texting a whole lot because I come from, I guess, consider old school. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I like to pick up the phone and talk to you versus texting. That's just me. And a lot of people have gotten away from that face to face and doing those things, but a voice matters over a text message. So that's why I said quality interactions, effective communication with people, listening and expressing yourself clearly and empathetically. Join social groups that can keep you socially well, to participate in organizations or clubs that align with your interests and passions. It's a great way to meet people that are like-minded. Volunteer. Like I said, I volunteer at church and some other organizations regarding community service. Just helping connect with others who share your values is just priceless. Networking, attending events and seminars and conferences. Yes, me too, Libby. And in your field and interest to expand your professional network, and then maintaining boundaries, set and respect personal boundaries and ensure that others respect your boundaries in social interactions. That's very important to know what you like in your social setting, and have those boundaries and have people respect them so that it can be a positive social experience. All right. Reconnecting with old friends is good. Rekindling past relationships can be rewarding. A digital detox is really important when it comes to how to be socially well, because a lot of times when people are on social media, they forget the importance of that face-to-face interaction or picking up the phone. It's good to socialize at work to build some type of relationships. I know some people are totally against, being friends with colleagues and stuff, but it doesn't have to be a friendship to be social. You can just say hi and chat for a little bit and keep going, but it's still social and it's still good for you. Practice empathy, actively listen. Like Victoria said, pay attention when others are talking and respond thoughtfully. It shows that you value their input. That's a great asset for social wellness. Spend the quality time being physically present when you are with them or talking to them, not distracted. Celebrating milestones of others, learning from others, being open to new connections. I want to say that because I remember there was a time on social media, I don't know if somebody said it in a song, they were like, oh, it was a song, no new friends. And I kept saying, why are people attaching themselves to that? Because you just never know what person God has wants you to connect with as a new connection. You never know what may come from that new friendship. So I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that at all, because you never know where you may find a meaningful connection. Practice conflict resolution. We talked about it earlier. And then make sure that you attend social events. I'm getting better at that because I love to be in my bed or relaxing on the couch. But sometimes you just need to say, you know what, I'm going to get up and I'm going to put on those clothes and I'm going to go to that birthday party or whatever the event may be. You never know who I may meet, and I'm going to have a good time. So those are some things to do regarding social wellness. It's not an option. It's not a reward. It's something that is essential. So what is physical wellness? And we hear physical wellness more than we hear about any other types of wellness. I know I do. Yes, start asking me out, Libby, because I need help. Physical wellness is one of the dimensions of overall wellness, and it refers to the state of an individual's physical health and fitness. It involves taking care of your body, maintaining good physical health, and making choices that contribute to your well-being. So it encompasses regular exercise, healthy diet, and we talked about the diet last week when we talked about nutrition, but adequate rest and sleep, making sure that you allow your body to recover and repair and regenerate as you sleep. Hydration, we talked about that, drinking enough water, have your body weight in ounces, which is why we're doing the water challenge. Regular health checkups, weight management, stress management, injury prevention, hygiene and self-care, preventative care, which is so huge, making sure that you're going to the doctor, getting your screenings and your health guidelines to prevent illness and detect potential health issues early. Substance abuse avoidance, safety precautions, making sure you're not injuring yourself at home when you're doing things from accidents, and healthy habits such as supporting your regular exercise, healthy eating, and adequate sleep. So here's some advantages of being physically well. Improve physical health. It's just better for your overall health. It cuts down on the risk of chronic diseases and health issues. Enhanced fitness, improve you're strong, your endurance, your flexibility. You feel good, you feel strong. Increased energy, because when you're working your body and doing these things and it's coming together, you will feel a burst of energy. Weight management, you will start to look a little different when you start exercising and eating differently and putting all of these wellness or physical wellness components together. You will reduce the risk of obesity, and it's associated with a lot of health problems. Your immune system will be stronger. Your healthy aging. Physical wellness will promote healthy aging by maintaining mobility and cognitive function as you grow older. Better mental health. We already talked about that, how it's connected. It reduces stress, anxiety, and depression. And then it gives you quality sleep, because when you work your body, it just, oh my gosh, it just releases the endorphins and it releases the toxins, and it just takes away all the stress, worry, and anxiety. You can sleep so much better. Another advantage, reduce risk of chronic disease, pain management, enhanced self-esteem, because you're boosting your self-esteem because your body is looking good. So now you have some body confidence. Stress reduction, always about stress. Cognitive benefits is associated with improved cognitive function and reduced risk of cognitive decline, meaning your mental, Alzheimer's disease, things like that, your memory. It's an improved quality of life because now you're in a greater physical comfort and mobility. Positive habits, longevity, we know what that is. Increased productivity, it gives you a clear mind. You're able to do daily tasks that are work related or not, but it just increases you to be able to complete those things. And then to be social with your engagement is very important. Your recreational activities. If the social event is to go for a run or a swim or a jog or ride the bike, you are in shape and you're not feeling like, oh Lord, when is the last time I did something physical? Oh, no, I'm just not gonna go. You see how that's tied together? So it just keeps you always being active, feeling good about yourself. Your skin will be beautiful, being physically well, because you're always sweating out toxins. And it's just so many great benefits of being physically well. So how do you do that? You have your regular exercise. I say 30 minutes a day, which is 150 minutes a week. Your healthy diet, your hydration, sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night, having your stress management techniques, your breathing, your meditation, your mindfulness, progressive muscle relaxation, regular checkups at the doctor for your screenings and things of that sort, weight management, injury prevention, substance abuse avoidance, personal hygiene, wellness screenings, healthy habits, not taking in like moderate alcohol intake and minimizing stress-inducing habits, and self-care, which means like your massages, relaxation techniques, stress relief activities. Your self-care can be taking a long bath. It could be taking a walk in the park or getting your nails done. I think nails done is self-maintenance, but it could be anything that you consider to be self-care. Physical activity in daily life, nutritional education, social support, building a network of friends and family who encourage you and support your physical wellness goals, and then your environmental health. So environmental wellness is something I'm really big on, but we didn't talk about it here because we're going to talk about it when we start talking about hair products. But considering your environmental factors that affect your physical wellness, such as your air quality, the things that you use on your skin, the things that you eat, and the things you inject, those are all different ways that toxins enter into the body. And so environmentally, is there to protect and to minimize the toxins that get into your body. So it's really important that you consider the environmental factors that are going on with you regarding your physical wellness. Okay? Yes, mammograms and pap smears yearly. Yes to that. So that's pretty much it. I've told you the what, the why, and the how of wellness. We did spiritual wellness, social wellness, mental wellness, and physical wellness. And now it's time to put it into action. So I created a self-care and wellness journal. I'm not sure who was able to download it yet, but I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. I'm like, man, because as I give you all this information and knowledge, I know it's a lot to take in, but I want you to actually have the beauty wellness balance. And helping you to be that is just not throwing information at you and leaving it there. It's to actually give you something tangible to follow along, to keep you accountable, and help you keep inventory of your wellness practices. Because if you're able to incorporate these things in this journal, then you'll just become a better version of yourself, to be honest with you.